Good day, class. Let's now talk about Lesson 2 of Unit 3, the competencies of counselors. So previously, we discussed the roles and functions of counselors. Now let's get to know what are the competencies a counselor must possess. In this lesson, I want you to take note of the following concept. Counseling is an applied discipline that helps clients develop more helpful ways of addressing their emotional, cognitive, or behavioral issues. It does not give the do's and don'ts to clients, but it helps the clients address their own emotional, cognitive, or behavioral baggages, wherein counselors are professionals who help clients develop positive strategies and adaptive coping mechanisms to maximize their cognitive, emotional, behavioral, and social functioning. What competencies should counselors possess to make the counseling process more effective? That is what we are going to try to unlock in this lesson. So make sure that you jot down important discussions, key points, and if possible, questions that may be formed during the course of this lecture. If there are, make sure that you raise them during our online classes so that we may be able to address them to try to deepen our understanding on the different competencies a counselor must possess. For this lesson class, we are going to target the following objectives. First is to explain the importance of establishing and maintaining rapport in the counseling process. Evaluate the significance of verbal and nonverbal actions in effectively facilitating, attending, and observational skills. Formulate a profile of a competent counselor. Now, with this lesson, let's try to first answer this essential question. What competencies should effective counselors possess? Take note of this question as this will be the essential question that we are going to cater and address at the end of this lesson. Now, in establishing rapport, we must understand that rapport here refers to an established connection between the client and the counselor. So it's a two-way process, the giving and taking, and vice versa. Rapport enables the development of therapeutic alliance. The environment should be of mutual trust and respect, meaning to say the counselor respects and trusts the client more so that the client also trusts and respects the counselor, wherein there is no judgment, no prejudices, and no pride is going to be exerted. Hence, it is an open and safe environment for you to exchange thoughts, emotions, feelings, experiences, traumas, emotional, cognitive, and behavioral baggages that have been going on for quite some time. These are the basic attending skills a counselor must possess. Nonverbal cues are important. They let the client know that the counselor is actively listening. So the way you sit, the way you look at the client, the way you try to write down the important points that the client is sharing is a very important component in order for the client to know that you as the counselor is actively listening. Now, we have this acronym, SOLAR, wherein in talking about nonverbal cues, these are the main concepts or the main gestures that we need to observe. Sitting, open posture, leaning, eye contact, and being relaxed. Just like what I stated earlier, the counselor must possess this ideal concept na he or she is ready to listen without compromising the nature or the environment in which the counseling process is going to be done, without giving an intimidating vibe to the client or to the counselee, but more importantly gives a comfortable vibe wherein openness is accepted. So we need to look at how we sit. Dapat relax lang ka. Open posture. Don't close your fist. Don't fold your arms. You need to be open. Ayaw mag number 4. Just stay relaxed. Leaning. Because by leaning, the gesture of leaning The client may feel that the counselor is interested and is willing and ready to listen attentively. Eye contact. The focus must always be in the client. And of course, you need to be relaxed. Sabi nga kagaya nga ng sinabi ko, you need not to give an intimidating vibe, but instead the client must be comfortable in the process of counseling or in the process of conversing with you. Now, how can the solar technique help counselors establish rapport with clients? We have the observational skills. Counselors should possess good observational skills to better understand the needs, the triggers, and the challenges of their clients. These include physical appearance. A client's physical appearance is often an indicator of his or her current mental state. Personal space. Observing how a client utilizes his or her personal space helps counselors assess the client's level of comfort. Voice. The way the clients speak can be influenced by numerous factors. It could be the train of thought that the clients have, the information they want to share, if they are able to convey what they think to how they say it, and the emotional associations that they give to these informations or to these train of thoughts that they want to express during the counseling session. Facial expression. The clients are usually unaware when their facial expressions change, and we are all guilty of this, whether you're a client or a counselor. When you experience something or when you express a particular experience or feeling, your facial expression is also influenced or also changes depending on what you are sharing. Body language. Counselors should be aware of specific movements that signal discomfort or mistrust in the therapeutic relationship. Sabi nga kaganina, in order for SOLER, SOLER, to become effective, the counselor must always observe posture, nonverbal cues para maging comfortable si client. Behavioral changes. There will be instances when a counselor notice behavioral changes in their client. This could be in the form of a sudden change in emotion, the tone of voice, and most of all, how the client is expressing his or her ideas. These can mean that distressing thoughts, feelings, and experiences may have possibly surfaced. Meaning to say, nigawas na ang mga emotions or thoughts or experiences nga nagabother sa client. So there will now be changes in the behavior during the course of the counseling process. Now, part of facilitating an effective counseling session is providing ample and appropriate feedback to the client. You let the client know that you are listening, and you try your best to also understand the client in his or her own shoe, but not going away with the point or with the purpose that you also need to help the client develop his or her solution or alternative. Use of minimal encourages such as yes, I understand, and to verbally express that they are actively listening to the client. Counselors may use minimal encouragers. Restatement and paraphrasing. Let's try to differentiate the two. Restatement is a technique in which the counselor captures the essence of what the client is saying and then attempts to restate it, be it for clarification or for validating the statement. While paraphrasing involves the repetition of what the client has just said using different words or sentences. This means that the counselor understands what the client is trying to say, so there is now paraphrasing of the statement in order to, again, whether clarify or validate if what the client is expressing is really understood by the counselor. Reflection of feelings. This facilitates awareness of possible feelings that are associated with an experience. Summarization. This connects two or more ideas to come up with themes about the client's experience and behavior. Now, how can beginning counselors develop basic responding skills? Remember that if you are a bookish type of person or professional, you cannot grasp all of these at once. Time and experience will help you develop these basic responding skills, especially if we continue to practice and observe our day-to-day actions, that we are able to develop these basic responding skills. Now, let's try to wrap up our discussion. In this lesson, we were able to identify that rapport refers to an established connection between the client and the counselor that fosters teamwork in addressing the client's concerns. The SOLER or SOLER approach is perceived as an effective tool in establishing and promoting active listening during the counseling session. Counselors should possess good observational skills to better understand the needs, the triggers, and the concerns of their clients. Minimal encouragers, restatement and paraphrasing, reflection of feelings, and summarization may be used to provide feedback to the client. Now, how can we differentiate rapport and therapeutic alliance? In this discussion, we were able to discuss a very interesting topic. So if there are questions that were formed during the course of this discussion, please state it or air it out during our online classes in order for us to be able to address and cater to them. Thank you so much, and once again, good day and keep safe.